Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Call the police. Word on the street is Kamala Harris was robbed without a gun. Yeah, man. Robbed without a gun. They're saying that Trump and his operatives stole the 2024 election. Oh, man, how many of y'all knew that? I can't believe it. Donald Trump stealing? Moving the goalposts? Trying to get an unfair advantage? I can't believe that, man. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Yeah, it's out there, fam. The story's out there, and the story got major legs right now. Let's check out this story from NBC News. Former Vice President Kamala Harris considers another run for president, she is also signaling that she has no problem with a public airing of what went wrong last time, telling donors she believes the Democratic National Committee should release its buried autopsy of her failed 2024 campaign, according to a person who has heard the conversations. While she indicated to donors that she has no issue with releasing it, Harris has not discussed the postmortem with DNC Chairman Ken Martin and did not know about his decision to keep it under wraps until it happened, this person said. So this person wants to know, why would they do a report? Why even do the study if you're not going to release it? It makes one think, what do you have to hide, man? What are you trying to hide? Come on. And don't tell me it has something to do with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B twerking. Because the loss to have nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. I'm telling you, fam, keep in mind, we just came off a Trump, 4 years prior, we came off a Trump disastrous term, his first term. Nobody wanted to see that dude back in except the uncivilized mutts. So for him to get back in, after we saw what he was capable of doing, we actually saw what he was capable of doing. Didn't have to guess. It lets you know something nefarious was going on. But here's another issue that I had with the whole election. I got to call a strike and a ball, fam. You know, I ain't by no stretch of the imagination riding for Trump. But I just got to say, fam, I don't understand why Kamala stood down so easily. I mean, it's like you knew it was rigged. Everybody knew it had to be rigged. And she just gave her concession speech like that and told everybody to just accept it. You think that would have happened if Trump would have lost? Man, you got to fight. Look, man, since the opponents ain't fighting fair, you can't fight fair. However, whatever it takes to win, that's what you got to do. That's the way I see it, man. If they gonna move the goalpost, I'm moving the goalpost too. You gonna redraw the lines, I'm redrawing the lines too. No, not when I get soon as I get in. I'm not gonna be happy that I got rid of you, just got rid of you. No, I'm getting in and I'm redrawing the lines too. Yeah. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the pressure on you. I'm gonna put the pressure on future politicians, future lobbyists, future voters to know that two can play that game. So just know that if y'all tried, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the exact same thing. That needs to be the message. Trump going after everybody right now. He putting everybody in jail. He's investigating everybody. The Democrats should not win the midterms or win the elections in 2028 and then all of a sudden decide they're going to be the good guys and they're going to take the high road. No, they should put their foot on their necks and keep it there as long as humanly possible. That's how they need to rock. Boy, they better be lucky. Boy, they better be lucky I ain't running the show. Listen to Kamala Harris' concession speech.
I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
See, all that's good, fam. That sounds good. A bunch of cheering and stuff, saying some pretty words. But if that would have been those Republicans, and Trump would have said something like, we have to respect the results, it's going to be a peaceful transfer of power, they would have been, boo, boo, get off stage. We ain't trying to hear none of that. Boo, 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 boo. We can overthrow the government. That's the mentality, right? Now, my thing is this. The way that Kamala ran the show, taking the high road, that's the right way to go, right? That's the right way to be. That's the way things should be. But, man, if somebody ain't fighting fair, if you's trying to square up and they pull out a gun, you gonna keep on trying to square up, or you gonna eventually pull out a gun too? What you gonna do? I'm trying to win, and I mean win every time. I want you to check out something, fam. On November 13, 2024, a group of statisticians, professors, forensic analysts, and computer scientists sent the Harris campaign a letter that went a little like this. Dear Vice President Harris, we write to alert you to serious election security breaches that have threatened the security and integrity of the 2024 elections, and to identify ways to ensure that the will of the voters is reflected and that voters should have confidence in the result. The most effective manner of doing so is through targeted recounts requested by the candidate. In the light of the breaches, we ask that you formally request hand recounts in at least the states of Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. We have no evidence that the outcomes of the elections in those states were actually compromised as a result of the security breaches, and we are not suggesting that they were. But binding risk-limiting audits or hand recounts should be routine for all elections, especially when the stakes are high and the results are close. We believe that under the current circumstances, when massive software breaches are known and documented, recounts are necessary and appropriate to remove all potential doubt and to set an example for security best practices in all elections. In 2022, records, video camera footage, and deposition testimony produced in a civil case in Georgia disclosed that its voting system used statewide had been breached over multiple days by operatives hired by attorneys for Donald Trump. The evidence showed that the operatives made copies of the software that runs all of the equipment in Georgia and certain other states and shared it with other Trump allies and operatives. Subsequent court filings and public records requests revealed that the breaches in Georgia were part of a larger effort to take copies of voting system software from systems in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Arizona, and to share the software in the operatives' network. According to testimony and declarations by some of the technicians who have obtained copies of the software, they have had access for more than 3 years to the software for the central servers, tabulators, and highly restricted election databases of both election systems and software, otherwise known as ES&S, and Dominion voting systems, the two largest voting system vendors, constituting the most severe election security breach publicly known. Combined, their equipment counts nearly 70% of all votes nationwide. 96% of Arizona voters use Dominion and ES&S equipment. 100% of Georgia voters vote on Dominion machines. 98% of Nevada votes on Dominion voting machines, and the remainder uses ES&S. 69% of Michigan voters' ballots are counted on Dominion or ES&S equipment. ES&S counts 92% of North Carolina ballots, and either ES&S or Dominion counts 97% of Wisconsin votes. Possessing copies of the voting system software enables bad actors to install it on electronic devices and to create their own working replicas of the voting systems, probe them, and develop exploits. Skilled adversaries can decompile the software to get a version of the source code, study it for vulnerabilities, and could even develop malware designed to be installed with minimal physical access to the voting equipment by unskilled accomplices to manipulate the vote counts. Attacks could also be launched by compromising the vendors responsible for programming systems before elections, enabling large-scale distribution of malware. In December 2022 and again in 2023, many of us concerned by the security risk posed by these breaches wrote to the Attorney General, FBI Director, and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Director, outlining the security concerns and urging an investigation. Though there have been limited, localized investigations, there is no evidence of a federal investigation to determine what was done with the misappropriated voting software. Other relevant parties have pointed to the security risk posed by the misappropriation of the voting software. Before it was known that partisan operatives had taken the software, Dominion Voting Systems objected vehemently to providing its software to the same partisan actors who ultimately got copies through voting system breaches, stating that to give its software to biased actors would cause irreparable damage to the election security interests of the country. And we can stop right there, fam, because now you see what it's all about. You see what it's all about. You see what it is. Democrats, what I want to know is, what are you going to do to punish Donald Trump and his operatives for rigging the election, compromising democracy? Yeah, and more importantly, what are you going to do to stop them from rigging the upcoming election and those in the future? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.